Hi everybody, hello beautiful people. It's a very interesting day today, a lovely, lovely Saturday. And I just received a comment under one of my videos. Very inspiring comment. I gotta tell you, I was moved, very, very moved, very emotionally moved by this comment, and it just made my day. It just made my day. I wanted to share something with y'all, and that is, why are we here? We're here to make a better world, or we're here to create a better world. We're here to change the world from what we see it and from what we consider it to be to one which we want it to be, which it can be, right? Because everything is possible. If you believe that everything is possible, it is. Right? If you have faith that everything is possible and you see it in your mind, it is, and it's going to happen. That's the only way that the world works. What I wanted to share now is a very, very brief story. So a week back, I had some interaction that I didn't enjoy at all. And it was at work with a person that we were working together, right? And she's a good person. I know it. And I know that because I know that everybody inside is a good person. I know that we're all coming from the same source. The same source that sees through my eyes, sees through your eyes and everybody else's eyes. And in and around our bodies and what we call local minds, we have our own unique thoughts, interpretations, emotions, perceptions of the world and ourselves in it. We've been taught that we're separate. We've been taught that we're disconnected. And this has created a lot of incorrect thinking, incorrect perception of the world and who we are, what we can be, what we can do, what we can change, essentially. Because this world is of our own creation. And this person was not, let me put it in this way. It was a very unpleasant interaction. After that, I was left with a very unpleasant feeling. And I was thinking about it, but because of what I already know from praying, from meditating, from my breathing experiences, meaning breathing practices, right? I already know that we are connected and that we're all one. I've sensed it many times. It's not something that I need to prove to myself or somebody has to explain it. I already know it. I've sensed it many times, and on a daily basis, I might not be 24/7 connected to this feeling, but I know it's there, and whenever I look for it, it just happens to be always there. But my focus might not always be on it. Nevertheless, I was not feeling good about this interaction. But what I know is that I can change everything in my mind. And the moment I shift my perspective of anybody, thing, situation, event, it automatically shifts, it automatically changes. So what happened then was that on the very next day, I had this idea, so why wouldn't I revise this? Why wouldn't I revise my conversation with this girl, with this woman rather? Why wouldn't I revise it? And why wouldn't I create a perfect situation in which we were both happy, both satisfied, and in a loving relation kind of between each other, meaning that whatever we would do, we do with love, right? And so I started doing that, right? I know this from many teachers, right? Many teachers have been kind of teaching me in a way passively because I would read their books or watch their videos. And I'm not going to go through all of them now. But what I did was I started revising it in my mind. And I started recreating the image of her that I have in me, right? The image, the perception that I hold, which I call her, right? But I do know that I can change this image. And so that's what I did. And I started imagining and affirming that she's a good person. And it was not so much about her, but about how I see her. So it was about, we're having a very harmonious time together. Our relation is very friendly and based on love, on peace. It's our work together is very harmonious and it feels very, very, very simple, very easy, right? And I'm at ease with her. We are doing what we're doing at ease and in harmony. And those were not necessarily the words that I was saying to myself or necessarily in this order or whatever. I'm just giving you a glimpse of what I started doing. And I started doing this and I started feeling it at some point. Right at the beginning, there was this resistance, right? Resistance of contradictory thought and of memory. Oh no, it didn't happen in this way, right? Oh no, the reality is different. But guess what? The moment you persist in that and you do it from the right place with the right intention to see the world as a perfect place, because you can. And because we don't see it as a perfect place, that's why it's not. And that's a topic for a completely different video, why those thoughts of imperfect perception came here and why we started picking them up and creating all of this havoc. But that's not the point of this video now. So I did that. I was doing it for maybe an hour. You know, at the beginning there was resistance. There were those thoughts of, no, it cannot be. She's not like this. But I know that she is. I know that she is in the way that I see her, right? In the moment I see her in a different way, the moment I forgive her, right? Because forgiveness is not necessarily about, okay, you're sorry, I forgive you. No, no, no. It's about us, me changing my perception in my own mind about somebody, thing, event, etc. and seeing it in a different way because I choose to do so. So I did that for an hour. And on the next day, I think I did it for also a little bit more. And I forgot about it, right? I just let it go because that's what I want it to be. That's how I choose to create it for myself. That's how I choose to change my memory of her, whatever you wish to call it, right? And guess what? A few days later, we were not texting or anything, but a few days later, she just texted me and was like, you know what? Do you want any help, Mitko? And I was like, alrighty, something's going on here. And she actually offered me help with a task that was mine to take care of. And she was like, you know what? Okay, you should have just told me. I could have taken care of it. You know, give it to me now and I'm gonna do it. I have time now. And it was at the end of her working day. She said to me, you know what? Give it to me. I'll help you with that. I was like, alrighty. Let's see where this goes. And I thanked her. She even called me, right? She was like, do you have 1 minute? She called me. She explained like in a very calm manner. She explained that she has time. She wants to help me, etc. And I was like, wow, okay, great. Thank you very much, you know. And she did. And now one may say, oh, yeah, this and this happened and maybe this and this and this. Yeah, whatever. I know what happened. I know what happened. I see her as she is. She's a good woman. She's a loving woman, a kind woman, helpful, supportive, as we all are, when we're in harmony, when we're in peace, when we're in love, when we come from the premise of love, of peace, of harmony, of happiness, right? Of freedom, basically, essentially of freedom. When we come from this premise, everybody's perfect and everything is perfect. We see solutions, we see resolutions. There are no problems. Problems don't exist. We see something that we perceive as incorrect in one way or another, but the moment we see it, we don't look at it as incorrect. We just see it as correct. And then actions start coming to us. Ideas start coming to us in order to create it, to recreate it, right? And people, events, circumstances start changing and shifting in order for this thing to match our reality, which is inside, the way that we see it, the way that we want to perceive it, right? Because I could have been like, oh yeah, she's like this, I'm feeling this emotion inside, so she must be like that, and she's wrong, and she's guilty, and me continuing to judge her for X amount of time. Who is this serving, really? Who is this serving? Who is serving us with constant negativity? Oh, yep, media. Oh, yep, politicians. Oh, yep, institutions. Telling us who we are not, what we cannot be, what we cannot become, etc. Limitation, right? Limitation, judgment, pushing down, guilt, shame, embarrassment. All of those artificially created, made up things, made up stories, because they don't exist. They don't exist in reality, right? But the perception has been ingrained there, and unless we change it, unless we choose to take another direction, right? Which I've chosen for myself. And I hope that I inspire you to do the same, because you can. We're of the same source. We're so magnificently powerful. Nothing, even media 24/7 telling us that we're not, cannot change that. And that's, if this is not the greatest power of all, I don't know what is, honestly. Even after all this programming, we're waking up. We're waking up to our truth, to who we are really in ourselves, in our hearts, what we can do. And guess what? This woman is now calmly talking with me. This woman is now having harmonious conversations with me. And you know what? I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. It's not because I take the kind of credit for it. I know what I chose. I don't take credit for for reality changing, but I know what I chose, and reality just reflects that. So why not a little bit of Thanksgiving today? Why not a little bit of Thanksgiving when it comes to you deciding to change the perception or the way you see the world around you, yourself in it, and others that are there? Something that I started doing recently, which is tremendously helpful, is that I would just connect with the truth that this person has, the one that sees through her eyes is the same that sees through my eyes, the one that I call me. It's just that in her body there is different memory. There are different thoughts, because of where she was brought up in, and so on and so forth. Different experiences in life that create different perceptions. But the one that perceives those perceptions and that gives them life is the same one that made me, the same one that made you, the same one that is in us, the same one that is in animals, in nature, in most likely all inanimate objects as well. And I'm saying most likely just for the sake of saying most likely. I do believe it is. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter what we believe in or not in some of those cases. But what matters is what we choose. Because our beliefs we can see and perceive just by looking around and seeing how we feel about ourselves and the world around. But the moment we know, we understand, and we're willing to trust that we're powerful, oh God Almighty, then things start really unfolding big time. Then inspiration starts following. Then happiness starts coming from previously unknown sources in unknown, mysterious ways, right? And that's what everybody's been talking about. Buddha, Jesus, Neville Goddard, all of the other thinkers, philosophers, masters, yogis, meditators, talking about the same thing. We're one, and we're so powerful we can mold reality. And by molding reality, I mean that reality starts changing in front of our eyes. Jesus said, if you had but of little faith, you would say to this mountain, move, and it will move. It will move because that's the truth. And why is this command the truth? Because it comes from source, the same source that created everything. And this mountain, supposedly, right, metaphorically speaking, this mountain is not disconnected from this, which is in all, right? Which is in you. In you. Yep. Love y'all. Love y'all, beautiful people. See you very soon. Ciao for now.